Texans polarizing home field advantage will be challenged during the second quarter-ish of 2025. We'll get into that. We'll also talk about current GOATs on the roster and a lot more. Let's go inside the locker room.
Yeah.
Good live.
Yeah. It's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Ayy. Locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize. Every angle's what we really do. We the source. We the pulse of the city too. Landlocked. Got the game in the headlock. Localize every time. Can't stop, won't stop. Yeah, we top two and we not two. Plugged in daily digital on YouTube. We got taste for days. Opinions to give. We got.
It is the locker room, number one source for Texans digital content. I am Landry Locker. We are 13 days away from the start of Texans training camp. Can hardly contain myself. I am so ready to get through these dark days, although I'm enjoying the dark days with the wifey, with the daughter. Shout out to everyone on the chat. Shout out to Bob Tack for sponsoring this segment. We're going to get into a very polarizing topic around here, the home field advantage or lack thereof when it comes to the Texans. Yesterday, we talked about the first quarter-ish, and I say ish because it used to be proportional, however you want to say it correctly, whatever, the 16-game season where you could divide it into quarters. Now there's 17. So we went with 5 on the first and we'll go with 4 on the second. And it'll be the stretch where the Texans will be the most tested when it comes to home games. And I think it's going to be the most exciting part of home games. I don't know if they still sell mini packages when it comes to season tickets, but this would be the stretch that I would go for sure. And it's the stretch that I'm looking forward to seeing, just the scenes and everything, because I think both of these teams roll deep. And we'll also get a little bit more into what the Texans home field advantage is or is not historically and with DeMeco Ryans, plus something I think they should do. And if you listen to this show enough, you can probably recite it with me, but something I think they should do to increase their home field advantage or lack thereof. Another thing that I want to get into is GOAT-ish. This on SNL, which you should subscribe to SNL Monday through Friday, 4 o'clock. We talked about the corners today, and we established Derek Stingley is the best cornerback of all time. When it comes to the Texans. No disrespect to Jonathan Joseph, but Derek Stingley is the best cornerback of all time. Are there any other Texans that are the best of all time at their position? We'll get into that as well. Shout out to everyone on the chat. Primetime V says he just finished dinner and the stream came right on time. What'd you eat for dinner, my friend? Because this is the type of guy that will go to eat all you can eat wings and all that type of stuff. The question is, what did Primetime V eat? What did he grub on? Stay tuned. Maybe he'll tell us in the chat. But I want to start this off by asking kind of a random question. And maybe I sound like a whiner. Maybe I sound like a little bit of a whiner. Some of you who've listened to me for a long time might say you sound like a little bit of a hypocrite. But I don't think so. When it comes to cheating, I understand why people are upset with the Astros when it comes to cheating. I'm not one of these panders that's going to sit there and like question it. When I was on the mic, when we were talking about the Astros, by the way, I'm wearing the Nate Diaz shirt today right here. Nate Diaz, my favorite fighter of all time. The little slap. I love the slap in a fight. When you're fighting, you got the slap. Got my Nate Diaz shirt. But the cheating thing. I understand anyone mad at the Astros. I think it might have been a little bit overblown. I think it's hard to hit a baseball even when you know what's coming. So that was kind of weird, the way that some of the data was presented. And I thought it was weird that the way a lot of Astros defenders kind of defended it too. They kind of showed themselves as like baseball simps when it happened. Neither here nor there. But I do have a question about one of the teams that the Texans are chasing in the AFC. One of the teams that the Texans are chasing in the AFC. And Primetime ate some Polo Tropical. Okay. I can see you there. But the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, the new Patriots, since the Patriots died, they know how to win a number of styles. They got Patrick Mahomes, who I respect, you respect, I think. Although the flopping was pathetic. And by the way, the flopping shows that he's willing to cheat. That's the other thing. The flopping with Patrick Mahomes shows that he's willing to cheat. He's willing to cheat the system and do whatever it takes to win. I know he's a competitor. I know he handles everything well, blah, 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 people's champ, all this. But he's willing to go the extra mile to cheat with the flopping. We saw it against the Texans. It was shameful. It was pathetic, actually. It was actually one of the most embarrassing things that I've seen from Patrick Mahomes. So we know that he's willing to get an edge. We also know this about Patrick Mahomes. Really good businessman. Really knows how to use his money. He doesn't have the Deshaun Watson materialistic, once you get extra money, all of a sudden you're just blowing it and changing your whole personality. You go from servant leader to eliminate 9-to-5ers on your Instagram. Like he's Patrick Mahomes, to his credit, has been the same since he came into the league. Deshaun Watson changed as soon as he got a contract. I said this I'm not going to sit here and rehash it. We've already been through that. But I'm watching on Netflix today. I'm watching on Netflix. I'm watching the Quarterback season 2 on Netflix. Very much enjoyed it. I think it's one of the best things Netflix does. And one of the reasons that I like it so much is that it gives us so much access. Like, the access is insane. It's crazy. And that's what makes a good documentary a good documentary. Documentaries are the least trusted form when it comes to credible news or presentation, because obviously you're showcasing a person and you're trying to present them a certain way. But in this case, this is basically just, there's no agenda. There's no anything there. We don't think. Like, they're not trying to make Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, or Joe Burrow look bad. But there's a lot of information there. A lot of information. And the reality is, when you're filming that information, if I feel like I'm getting a lot of access and unlimited access, who knows what the raw footage looks like? Because I'm sure they're protecting the guys to a certain point. Like, they're not showing everything about them and everything they do and everything they like and stuff like that. But there's a lot of probably like really good footage that might be valuable to maybe a coach or an opponent or something like that. And if you watch these episodes, at the end of the credits, there's executive producer Peyton Manning, followed immediately by executive producer Patrick Mahomes. So my question is this: with all of this access, with all of this information, with who knows what kind of footage they have, should Patrick Mahomes, as an active NFL player that has already shown a willingness to cheat the rules, should he be allowed to produce QB on Netflix as an active player? I'm being serious. I'm being dead ass serious on this. Because I think the answer is no. Can he ask for the extra footage that wasn't shown? Like, what do you get as an executive producer? What does Patrick Mahomes get? Joe Burrow and him have played in the AFC Championship 2 times. Okay? Joe Burrow beat him once. Joe Burrow probably should have beat him a second time, but they got the lucky flag on the sideline, and they've gone kind of toe-to-toe. Should Patrick Mahomes be able to produce with all this extra footage as an active player on Netflix? It's the same question that we have with Tom Brady when it comes to being an owner and a broadcaster. Okay, you own the Raiders. You've been involved in some cheating scandals. I'm not sitting here saying that you did anything wrong. I'm not trying to take it away, blah, 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 going back to the Astros. But there is question about whether Tom Brady should be able to have ownership in a team and be a broadcaster. Patrick Mahomes is an active player and executive producer. Do you think in a hypothetical world that Patrick Mahomes could pick up the phone and say, hey, can I get the extra footage? I want to look at this, the stuff that they don't put out? I don't know the answer to that. I just don't know that with all of this extra footage, if Patrick Mahomes should be able to be an executive producer in quarterback. This is something nobody's talking about. Maybe it's a little bit of cabin fever when it comes to the stuff that we consume. But shout out to Netflix for giving me my football fix. And shout out to Patrick Mahomes for getting my competitive juices flowing, because I love Patrick Mahomes. Just don't know if this should be allowed. And you've already shown with the bitch ass flopping that you're willing to kind of bend the rules, my friend. Who knows? It is the Locker Room, number one source for Texans digital content. You tell me if you think I'm crazy on that. I don't think I am. I think it's a little bit ridiculous that Patrick Mahomes is an executive producer. I really, really, really do. So yesterday we talked about the first quarter-ish breakdown of the Houston Texans. We talked about the first 5 games. I missed the 16-game season, but the first 5 games of the season with the Texans, we broke it down. Go back and look at it if you haven't looked at it, if you haven't checked it out. But we talked about the game against the Rams, which I am probably the game that I'm most excited for. We talked about the Tampa Bay game on Monday night, 6:00 Monday night, by the way. And then we talked about going to Jacksonville, Tennessee, and then going to Baltimore, where the Texans have been completely owned by the Baltimore Ravens in the DeMeco Ryans era. Now we're going to go to the second quarter-ish. And the question I have when it comes to the Texans is, do they have a home field advantage? Do you feel like the Texans have a home field advantage? And if so, why? If so, why? And if so, how much? The most popular answer on the poll that I asked, I said, do you think it's a big home field advantage? Do you think it's an average? Or do you think they don't have a home field advantage? And the answer was average. And I think that's appropriate. The Texans all time at NRG, they're 92, 93, and 1. So all time, the Texans have a losing record at home. I don't think you can blame that on being an expansion team. But that's their record. 92, 93, and 1 at home is the Texans' record at home. That's their record. Now, in the DeMeco era, it's a lot better. It's really good, and it actually includes 2 playoff games. So DeMeco's kind of done his thing, and the Texans are 13-6, counting 2 playoff wins at NRG in the DeMeco era. I think he's done a good job. I think he's brought excitement to the fan base. I still don't think it's an elite home field advantage, but I think DeMeco's done a good job. So you're talking 13-6 at NRG in the DeMeco Ryans era. Now, as far as the home field advantage, it's obviously a late arriving crowd for whatever reason. There's no excuse. Although the logistics do suck. The Astrodome gets in the way. I think that the way that they handle like entrances and stuff, even like there's a 30-foot problem that they have on Kirby where it would be common sense, but apparently they don't really look too much into it. I think Greg Grissom did, the former Texans president, I think he did put a little bit of thought into it, but I don't think they put as much thought into the logistics and how ass they are with some of the stuff they do and the way that they handle it. And it also feels like, a lot of you can tell me this, tell me if I'm wrong. Me personally, like I park in the same lot every time. I know the route. But I do hear what the people say, and I've kind of experienced what the people say when it comes to the parking. I think a lot of times it feels like they put people in position when it comes to parking outside of my lot, and my lot's one of the most secure lots. And they basically just say, "Hey, you're in control of this parking lot, and there's no like strong way for logistics. The signage sucks, the direction sucks. It's terrible." So I'll say that. When it comes to like the excuse of being able to get in your seat early, I'll admit that. But as far as everything else that you can factor into a home field advantage, I think there's something that's a real problem with the Texans that they don't do that other teams do. And I think a lot of home field advantage has to do with climate, and I don't feel like we take advantage of our climate here. And I really don't get it. Like, people die of frostbite and people die of heat stroke. Like, it happens a number of ways. But for whatever reason, the Texans don't open the roof whenever it's hot, whenever it's not hot here, but it would be hot anywhere else. In other words, you should have the roof open all the way through November. When we can get 80-degree temperature, like, that is so humid for the other team. Like, the only reason that the Texans are scared to go to Buffalo, or they're scared to go to Kansas City, or they're scared to go to Baltimore is because of the weather. It's cold as fuck. And these teams do not have indoor stadiums. And the reason they don't have indoor stadiums, they won't admit it. They'll sit there and act like it's nostalgia and all that. No, it's because you're used to shit weather. And because you're used to shit weather, you think that teams should just go there and have to adapt to your shit weather. That's it. That's the only reason that they do that. Like, Buffalo, with what Buffalo does, like, if they had any common sense, they should have been forced. The NFL should have forced them to have an indoor or at least retractable roof type of stadium. And you keep the roof shut up till kickoff. And if you want to be weirdos, then you can open it up and figure it out. But there should not be people shoveling snow up to the game. Why are we in Houston closing the roof in October because it's 85 degrees or something like that, and maybe it's a little bit humid? Oh, the fans might get a little bit hot. Okay, what do you think they're thinking in Buffalo, Kansas City, all these other places? And props to Cleveland for actually doing the indoor thing. But if these teams are going to take advantage of their cold weather, why do you not take advantage of your hot weather? Open that up. You ever had someone in town? A lot of you people, and I do mean you people in the chat, you've had people in town from who knows where, and it's cold for you to where you almost need a hoodie. But when they come in town, they're like, damn, it's hot. It's humid out here. It's humid. Why don't the Texans do that on Sundays when it goes down? It's because it's maybe that takes too much thought, but I don't get it. I really don't get it. Like, you're basically doing the other teams a favor. Don't get it. I understand hating the cold weather. They don't give a damn about your cold weather. So why don't you take advantage of your hot weather? It's almost like these hot weather teams just decided, okay, we're going to be bitches and we're going to make it like even climate. And I love the retractable roof when it's cold, when it rains, all that type of stuff. I love it. But why is it that the only teams that take advantage of their weather and their climate and what the players are used to, why is it that they're only the cold weather teams and the warm weather teams don't do it? It doesn't make sense. Cold weather sucks way more than warm weather, especially when it comes to driving, when it comes to sitting, all that type of stuff. It sucks. You can drink a cold drink in the stands and make yourself feel better. The beer freezes when it's cold. Don't get it. Moving on. The second quarter-ish breakdown. So this one's interesting. So yesterday we did the first 5 games of the year. This one's interesting. So we're going to have a late night. So we already talked about the the early Monday night game. We're going to get to start the second quarter-ish. We're going to get a late night Monday night game, and then we're going to get a heavy dose of some home cooking, which maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't exist. Week 6 at Seattle, 9 p.m. Monday night football game. 9 p.m. Monday night football game. This is almost like an Astros versus Angels or A's game. I'm down with it. I'm a night owl. Some of you, Nick Caserio might not be able to watch this one. Honestly, I don't know if he's going to make the trip. Nick gets a little grumpy at night. We've seen him at the draft. We know Nick Caserio probably has a bedtime. Honey, put the kids to bed. I'm going to go get some sleep. I got to be up at 4:30 a.m. I got to go get my coffee with my honey on it. I don't know if Nick's going to make this one. He might not make it. But we got a Seattle Monday night football game. Now, Sam Darnold last year, he beat the shit out of the Texans. We saw that one of the worst losses of the DeMeco Ryans era, especially regular season losses. I don't know if the time factors in or not, but I do know this. DeMeco is going to be very ready to make Sam Darnold look bad. Now, I do get a little bit concerned about Jackson Smith and Jigba potentially in the slot, especially if he gets matched up against Jalen Petrie. Hopefully you avoid that because that would be barbecue chicken, extra spicy. But this one's probably going to be a game where the Texans are going to be, it might be a pick 'em. They might be small underdogs, but that 9 o'clock might throw some people off. Nick Caserio probably going to be in bed. He's probably going to have to get told what time this one is, because that's a late one. 9 p.m. Monday Night Football. That's the only game, though, in the second quarter-ish on the road, because then the Texans have 3 games at home. And this is going to be the biggest home challenge. 3 straight weeks. They're going to love this because they're going to be able to get in a routine and they're going to have some tough opponents. And in a perfect world, you want to play tough opponents at home. Obviously, you want to play weak opponents at home too, but given the fact that you have the same amount of home opponents and road opponents, like you would rather go to the worst team in whatever division you play and have the best team come to you, because there is kind of an equalizer. And the Texans, on the second game of the second quarter-ish, they're going to face the San Francisco 49ers. How about that? The San Francisco 49ers. Kyle Shanahan coming to town. The San Francisco 49ers. By the way, Brock Purdy without Christian McCaffrey, 5-8. Shout out to Grant Cohn for this stat. 18-5 with Christian McCaffrey. So will Christian McCaffrey be healthy is a big question here. He's the straw that stirs the drink there. But you got the San Francisco 49ers. They're going to roll deep too. And we don't see the San Francisco 49ers in town very often. I'm looking forward to this. DeMeco versus his mentor, the guy who gave him the opportunity, the guy who was on the Texans when Kyle Shanahan began his coaching career. We're going to hear a lot about that. You have CJ Stroud versus Purdy. Some would say that they're in the same tier when it comes to the quarterback discussion. And then the 49ers looking to bounce back against the Texans, looking to take the next step after a couple good seasons. So this is going to be a good one. I think the thing that we're going to look at here is Christian McCaffrey healthy? We kind of overestimate the quarterback. I saw Grant Cohn was talking about what Brett Kay said about the 49ers. I like his I like Grant's kind of subtle mocking a Brett. I think it's justified and funny. But yeah, I would agree with Grant Cohn, and I think he knows the 49ers better than anyone. I think he balances journalistic integrity with shtick better than anyone. Christian McCaffrey's the straw that stirs the drink. That's just common sense. It's proven, you can see it, and it's there. So that's really what's going to matter. Mr. Heisenberg says, I would not underestimate the 49ers. I don't know who's doing that. It'll be a good matchup. There's no doubt about it. Zach Martinez says Cody's going to be at the mashed potato bar. Yeah, Cody Stutes today had a pathetic display with the mashed potato bar. I'm going to call him and have him justify this. I'll make sure he doesn't cuss or anything. But I don't know what he was thinking. He doesn't usually answer late night on what he's doing. He's not going to answer. You don't want to be put on the spot. He's more of a scripted guy.
Hi, you've reached the voicemail box of Cody's.
Weak sauce. But yeah, he said at a big event, I asked him, like, he's like, what's your wedding gimmick? And I was like, well, didn't really have to have one. Like, what would yours be as far as food or anything like that? And Cody said he would have a mashed potato bar. The hell is that? Like, I've heard of people talk about baked potatoes, which is just kind of a lame excuse to be cheap. Just get pizza. Like, don't try to be cute. Like, if you want to, there's no shame in just ordering some pizzas. Like, I'm not materialistic at all. Like, if you just want to order some pizzas, if you just want to make some mac and cheese, if you just want to make a crap ton of rice, if you just want to like bake some sausage and throw it up there, I'm all in favor of it. But don't try to overdo like some sort of like deep meaning with like a mashed potato bar. Like who eats mashed potatoes and says, I could really use some toppings on these mashed potatoes? Nah, you go through the buffet. The mashed potatoes are there, you throw them on, and then you see what color gravy they got. That's embarrassing, actually, by Cody. That's actually really, really embarrassing when it comes to Cody. Screening his calls and stuff like that. Mashed potato bar, that's trash, man. And I think most people would agree with that. For someone who's so into food, that's trash. And it's not like if you just ordered some pizzas, cool. You want to order some pizzas, that's cool. Don't even care. I've been at weddings where they've had pizzas. Seriously. It's cool. I wasn't judging. Grab me a couple slices. Slap them on there. No problem. Mashed potato bar? Really? You put some effort into that mashed potato bar? Oh, there's the bacon. Terrible by Cody. Terrible by Cody. Just it's actually one of the most embarrassing things I've ever heard in my life, especially for someone who I respect.
Script this. Scripted. Out of here.
Mashed potato bar. Nobody's supporting you on that either, brother.
I found many allies in the mashed potato bar.
No, you did not. That is one of the worst things I've ever. Just order some pizzas, bro. Like, if you want to be cheap, don't try to like put
cheap. What's cheap about that? It's not going to be
potatoes.
Are you acting like that's the only thing that's going to be there to eat? Like, I'm just going to serve people a giant vat of mashed potatoes.
That is.
There's just going to be some fat chef in the corner with his chef hat on, like mashing up mashed potatoes the whole time, and that's what everybody gets, just a big old pot of gruel. Like, it's going to be an accessory to whatever the entree is. It's clearly a side. No one trying to make it the main attraction. It's trying to zhuzh up a side.
You said that was your gimmick, bro. Don't try to minimize it now. Stand on your ish, man.
I'm not running away from it, but you're acting like I have like this giant mashed potato sculpture in the middle of the wedding where it's like, hey, everybody, look at this great giant Taj Mahal of mashed potatoes and all the accessories that you can put on it. Like, I'm just saying, you go get your entree, you go get your sides, and then at the end, when you're getting your mashed potatoes, there's a little bar there with accoutrement. I think it'd be cool.
Hey, do you want to ride along with me for the next two of the second quarter ish?
I'm actually in the middle of something, but I
what are you doing?
I'm watching a TV show.
Damn, you got a lady over there, huh?
Yes.
Damn, is a Stute slap gonna happen?
We're done here. We're done here. I had to come defend my mashed potato honor, and now I'm leaving.
The Stute slap going down tonight. If you know, you know. I think only 2 may. Mama Stutes might, but anyway.
You dog.
All right.
I'm leaving.
Bye. All right. The Stute slap going down. Shout out to Bob Tech. Look, here's the problem. There's a lot of big companies who claim they're the ones that get it done. They don't get it done. They charge you more and they give you less. They give you AI garbage when it comes to customer service, which sucks. They have nothing. They have no care in the world about your company. They're terrible. That's not the case with Bob Tech. 24/7 availability, 409-744-8225. You can text that number as well. Locally owned and operated. Bobby's been in the business for 45 years. They've been serving Houston and beyond. PPE, spill control, trucking, maritime supply, gloves, FR, coveralls, protective clothing, anything that you want safety, whether you work in a restaurant or whatever. We got a lot of truckers that listen to this show. Check that out and watch this show. They can do anything. Call them, text them. If you don't like the prices, they'll figure that out. Locally owned and operated company right here in Houston, capable of providing all things PPE related, oil, hazmat, spill control supplies, as well as trucking and maritime. 24/7, get it done. Quit going with these big companies. If you need safety supplies, 409-744-8225. Visit bobtac.com. They got you covered on the chat. Let's see what we got here. Cody Stutes. Someone's saying fry bar. What are we doing with fries? Were we putting some cheese on them or something like that? Cheese and bacon fries. I mean, come on. Like, we're just overthinking stuff. Let potatoes be potatoes. They're a side. Like, we don't need it. We don't need to be crazy with all this stuff. Like, if you want to be fancy, just get a nice ass salad bar. Taste of Texas. The reason why Taste of Texas is so popular is because of the salad bar. The steak school, the nostalgia, the salad bar. Just have a good salad bar. We don't have to do anything with this potato bar. It's crazy. Just terrible. Zach Martinez says Stutes is going to mash her up. Talking about the mashed potato. Yeah, he might be serving his mashed potato bars with a Stute slap. And he didn't want to talk much about the Stute slap, which I understand. Ric Flair ain't got nothing on that, at least based on what I heard. All right, so the next home game after you face the San Francisco 49ers, and yes, we are loose today in the locker room. It's kind of that time. Me and wifey having a good time with the anticipation of camp starting.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Week 3, the Denver Broncos. This is going to be a big one, we think. Now, we don't know how Denver's going to start the season, but this is kind of the time where you get a grasp of it. Now, Sean Payton, DeMeco Ryans feeling pretty good about what he's got going. Sean Payton's feeling really effing good too. And I hate Sean Payton. I did not want the Texans to trade for Sean Payton. But even as one of the biggest Sean Payton haters, I will say this. The dude has developed one of the best offensive lines in the game and one of the best defenses in the game. Now, do I think Denver's defense is going to be better than the Texans next year? I wouldn't bet on it, but they were last year. And Bo Nix had a hell of a rookie season. He shut a lot of people up, including yours truly. How will he bounce back year 2? Who knows? But Denver, they added Ingram. They're going to try to run the ball more. They have some underrated receivers. We'll have a good grasp of what Denver is at this point. I think Denver's a dark horse to compete in that AFC West, and not just compete, to win that division. Sean Payton's got something going. It's cooking, and I don't think Denver's too disappointed in their investment. So you talk about this matchup at this point in the season, damn near the midpoint. This could be like one of those measuring stick type of games where the Texans and Broncos are clearly in the same tier. What will it look like? I don't know, but this is going to be a fun game. And it's on the aftermath of San Francisco. This is a fun 3-week stretch. Again, I said if I could buy a mini season ticket package, this is the one. San Francisco, Denver, Jacksonville, bye-bye. I'll watch the games on the first quarter and then I'll sit my ass on the couch. But you get to watch the Kyle Shanahan 49ers, which is a powerful brand, and then the Denver Broncos, which is a powerful brand, in 2 weeks. This is going to be amazing. This is going to be amazing content. I'm pumped to be able to cover this. I can't remember a better 2-week stretch of covering this squad, especially in the DeMeco era, than this. And you don't have to move. You're going to be at NRG. It's going to be fun. San Francisco, Denver, that is a hell of a 2-piece. And then you cap off this second quarter-ish, and you got the Jacksonville Jaguars. You're hosting the Jags. Now, this will be the final matchup, which kind of sucks if Jacksonville's going to be good, because then you're not going to have like that game that you kind of count down to. But Jacksonville, and we'll probably have a grasp of what they're about too. They're going to be coming down. I'm not sleeping on Jacksonville this year. I think Liam Cohen's good. I think Liam Cohen's really good. I think he could turn Trevor Lawrence. And I came up with this yesterday. I'm probably going to say this 400 times before the season starts. Shout out to the Miller Gold cans. Not that. I could see him turning Trevor Lawrence into a Jared Goff type quarterback. I think Trevor Lawrence is low-hanging fruit because we remember him as the can't miss guy, and oh my God, we're screwed because the Jags are getting Trevor Lawrence. I could easily see, though, Liam Cohen, and I'm buying what he's selling, even though he's such a goofball. But I could easily see him turning Trevor Lawrence into a Jared Goff type QB. So that's the second quarter-ish. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. That second quarter. It's the best stretch, especially if you live around here. It is a fun stretch. Especially the home stretch. Those two games, San Francisco and then Denver coming to town within a week of each other. Sign me up for that. That's going to be sick. It's going to be absolutely amazing. On the super chat, Dominic.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Dom, change your profile pic, man. I mean, you come on, man. I love you, man. I love Dom from Jersey, but he's got to change his profile pic. We got to get off that. You with Ozempic Ultimate fan. I love Steve, but come on, man. You got to change that. You're better than that, man. Put it with the baby. You got to be better than that. He says, I think SNL needs to do one road game a year, SNL tailgame. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad idea. Traveling Texans, one game a year. I don't think that's bad at all. So yeah, maybe we should. I know we tailgated with Dom and his boys in Jersey. Dom's a diehard, man. He represents. He was in the in the stands with the Jets during that ass whooping, one of the biggest ass whoopings of the DeMeco era. And he was talking crap to Jets fans. So he actually stands on business and stands his ground with the Jets fans and with his friends. I don't even know. I think Dom usually goes to a game. I don't know what game he's going to this year. I think he's going to Tampa Bay, the 6:00, but I'm not sure. Hopefully the profile pic has changed by then. It's just not working, dude. Not working. Flexing with the Ultimate Fan, like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. We got to get you right. I know it was your bachelor party, so you're probably a little tipsy, but I mean, come on, Dad. You're better than that. Hugh Stone on the chat says that I work with the Ultimate Monday through Friday. Oh, you work with Steve? My guy Steve? So you're a smart guy, I can see. Shout out to Steve. Just don't know if I want him as my profile pic. Know about that. So are y'all like y'all got like the same gig? I know Steve's kind of a Michigan man. Shout out to Ultimate Fan. He's my guy. I'm just kidding. I just don't know about the profile pic, Tom. Not working. So the next question I have here on the loose portion of the locker room. And this kind of piggybacks off of what we talked about today on SNL. And you can see Cody Stutes is trying to give some broad buckets. I'm sitting here getting loose on these goal bellies. Shout out to Miller Lite. But we were talking about Derek Stingley, and there's no pushback with it. He's the best cornerback in the history of the Houston Texans. I think we can all agree with that. He's better than Jonathan Joseph. Jonathan Joseph had the longevity, but he's not as good as Derek Stingley. He's never been close to what Derek Stingley is. Like this 30-game stretch that Derek Stingley's on is more than Jonathan Joseph like could ever dream of. We're just being honest. Like, let's just be real about it. So it got me to thinking, what current Texans are the GOAT at their position, if any? And we'll do this position. We'll do this exercise together. And then we'll ask the other question, what Texans can/will be GOAT at their position? There's only two right now on the roster that I think are GOATs at their position. And that's that's Derek Stingley at cornerback. He's the best cornerback the Texans have ever had. And Ka'imi Fairbairn at kicker, which I know might ignite some emotion. I know Dom from Jersey hates him. But I would say that those are the only two that are GOATs at their position. And by the way, Dom has me motivated. Should I open the lines tomorrow? We did this a little bit. Like, are people fired up enough to be able to open the lines? Like, if I put the link to join the stream, do you think we should open the lines tomorrow? I think we're getting close enough. We're inside 2 weeks to where people can actually bring some fire. I don't think you take calls to take calls. I think people can bring some fire. Should we open up the lines tomorrow? Yes or no in the chat. But those are the two that are GOATs at their position. That's it. I don't think anyone's really going to argue that. It's Fairbairn and it's Derek Stingley. Dom says open them now. He's got something to say. All right, I'll put this. I'll put it in the chat right now. If you want to get in, get in. But I would say that it's Fairbairn, and I would say that it's Sting. Now, some people would say, well, what about CJ Stroud? What about CJ Stroud? I think Deshaun Watson's over CJ Stroud at the moment. We can rewrite history. We can get angry. But Deshaun Watson heading into year 3, we were talking about him as a top 5 quarterback. I think Deshaun Watson with this cast and this group and this surrounding and this organizational structure, I think there's a chance that the Texans are a top 3 Super Bowl favorite. And I think CJ has the ability, but I think Deshaun in his prime had the ability to turn chicken-ish into chicken salad like no other. Even when things were bad. So I'm going to sit here and I'm still going to say, whether it's unpopular or not, regardless of what I said about Deshaun Watson getting materialistic, pre-scandal, I think Deshaun Watson is still the best quarterback in franchise history. Now, I think it's inevitable that CJ Stroud will be better than Deshaun. I think it only takes like a couple more good years, but 2 years, one awesome year and one kind of suspect year is not enough for me to just completely dismiss the 2017 to 2020 experience of Deshaun Watson, where he played the way he did in 2017, then in 2018, 11-5, and then 2019, taking you to the divisional round with the performance he had against the Bills. So might not be the most popular thing, but I will say Deshaun Watson's still the best quarterback in franchise history. Now, what players could be the best at their position eventually? The GOATs. Look, if you consider JJ Watt a D end, and in the 3-4 system, he pretty much was a D end. Will Anderson's not going to be JJ Watt. And I'm not trying to dismiss what Will Anderson can be. I think Will Anderson can end up being one of the faces of a much better team than JJ Watt. But JJ Watt was the best player in the NFL for like a 3-year stretch. So I don't think Will Anderson's ever going to be what JJ Watt was from a performance level. I also think Will Anderson's going to have better surroundings. I do think he can be better than Mario Williams, who's the other guy that you discussed, but he's not going to be JJ Watt. Now, if you want to consider JJ Watt a DT, then yeah, I think Will Anderson could be the best edge guy. But other than that, don't see that. Linebacker, I don't see anyone that is going to become the best linebacker of all time. Kalen Bullock, we'll see. Like right now, who is the best safety? Like, are we talking Demps? Are we talking Manning? Some would even say like Andre Howe. Like it's not that high of a bar that you have to surpass. So Kalen Bullock could perhaps end up being the best safety that the Texans have had. We just got to see how he develops and if he becomes kind of a complete player. He said pre-snap was one of the things they need to work on. Some people say strength, some people say recognition, some people say technique, but the talent's there, the desire's there. I could easily see Kalen Bullock being a GOAT at his position. So CJ, I think it's inevitable. Kalen Bullock, I think it's possible. And that's really it. Outside of that, that's all we have. Some people say Nico Collins over Andre. He's not Andre. Like, let's just be serious. He's not Andre. Oh my gosh, we got the 5-0 on our case. Dom in Jersey. Look at this guy.
What's up, bro?
Dude, what are you doing?
I'm working nights, man. I'm out here till 6 a.m. hiding from the boss right now. So
okay, yeah, I don't know if you should say that on tape, but okay.
It's okay. So listen, I wasn't really prepared for this, but I'll get fired up anyway.
What do you need to be prepared for? To talk Texans? You need like a script?
Dude, I go through a thing. It's a process. I don't just make those calls. I think things through. All right. So Derek Stingley currently on the team is the only guy who has the chance to be considered the greatest at his position.
He's already there. He's already there.
Dude, I agree. You don't got to twist my arm on that. Stoots thinks Surtain is better. I think Stingley's better now. I do.
No, I'm talking about all-time Texans.
No, I don't understand that, but I'm saying also in the league, as I think Derek Stingley's the best in the league.
Yeah.
But one thing I wanted to talk to you about, Landry, I saw your tweet earlier today about what do you think the home field advantage is for the Texans? Let me tell you something. I don't mean to come out on here and call out my fellow Texans brethren, but you know me, bro. I've been to Houston a lot. I go once a year at least to a game, so I'm allowed to speak on this. I am sick and tired of some season ticket holders selling out and making NRG Stadium feel like an away game for the Texans. I was at the Lions game last year. That stadium was 50-50. So we could talk all we want about the 49ers game this year. Not so much Denver, but definitely San Fran game. Landry, you know that place is going to be like Levi
It's
Stadium South.
be heavy. It's be heavy. And Denver too. Denver might bring it too. It's gonna be.
They might bring it. They might bring it.
They will.
So that's just been a big concern for me. I know Houston, they've always played well at home. You remember that Steelers game, the J.J. Watt game? That was a nightmare too.
Yeah.
With the away crowd.
Yeah,
but Landry, this is make or break for my boy CJ this year. I've been trying to take another look at it, his season last year. I think when you really sit back and realize how bad the wheels fell off last season, and for CJ to have held his own and have a decent year, I think says more about him. I think I used to knock him for his struggles last year. What's your take on that? I want to be positive about. I want to be more positive this year.
I think it's kind of a balance. I think it's weird when people get offended that you say that CJ wasn't good last year, because I think it's based on the standards that he set. I feel like he set the bar high to where he himself said that he didn't best control what he could control. I think the situation around him kind of sucked, but I don't think he had a good season. So that's really kind of how I've talked about it. We'll see what it is. We'll see what the Nick Caley system looks like. I'm glad that DeMeco had the balls to fire Bobby Slowick. I think that was good. I also think that the margin for error kind of increases, because I think it's going to be a defensive minded football team.
Right.
But I don't think that CJ played very well last year, and I don't think he carried himself very well either. So
no, definitely not. I was very disappointed in his offseason. I got two more things before you let me go.
Nah, keep going, man.
So I want to know where you're at with Cushing as far as all-time Texans. You know, I'm a Jersey guy. Cushing's my dog. I know Stoots feels differently about him, and that's okay. But we will never see a dude who's willing to die on that field every Sunday. Ever again.
Cushing's an all-time great linebacker. Cushing kind of got hated on for a brief period because they got rid of DeMeco indirectly because they brought in Cushing. And I think he rose to the occasion. I still think that probably at the linebacker position, DeMeco is still the GOAT, but I would say Cushing's probably the second best linebacker in franchise history. All-time type of dude. Yeah. And he was definitely willing to die on that field.
Absolute dog. We will never see somebody with the fire that guy brought every Sunday.
You headbutt someone without a helmet, you're a crazy son of a bitch.
Quick Cushing story. The way I met him, I was at Texans Dolphins at their old stadium in Miami, and snuck down to the bottom, trying to get Cushing, throw me his gloves. I got into a fight, got punched by a Dolphins fan, got carried out, ran into his mom outside, told her the story. She brought me into friends and family, met Andre Johnson, Cushing, Wade Phillips. I blew off JJ. It was his rookie year. He wasn't that good. So, quick question.
What was the fight about?
He didn't. The Texans were actually whooping their ass that game, and I was trying to kind of fight my way down to the bottom because Cush told me he's gonna throw me his gloves during warm-ups, and the guy didn't like it, so he got a few good shots in there. I'm not gonna lie, but tough question for you, DeMeco. Love him to death, all-time Texan. I think he's a very good head coach. Do you trust him that he could take us to the next level? Because let's be honest, he's made a lot of questionable decisions late in games, and in-game decision-making, you could definitely...
What do you think? What in-game decisions do you have an issue with DeMeco?
I told you I wasn't prepared for this. I was hoping you'd help me out here.
Yeah, I don't think that in-game he's been bad. I don't think late game. I think DeMeco's biggest problem, and I think this is going to be it's kind of the battle that Mike Tomlin has, is like the biggest discussion when DeMeco is being hired. And I was a DeMeco guy through and through, and I'm still I'm kind of a DeMeco critic in certain ways, maybe because I have to talk to him and I feel like a lot of times he kind of blows smoke a lot of times. But you are a defensive minded coach, and the problem with DeMeco is there's tangible proof over a 2-year period that the defense is way more well coached, they're way more prepared, and there's way more accountability.
Right.
In other words, year one, you benched Jalen Petrie. He's one of your favorite people in the world, man.
Yeah.
You benched Jalen Petrie, and the football team got better because you benched Jalen Petrie. Last year, Shaq Mason and Kenyon Green, they didn't get benched. You put Shaq Mason back in the lineup against Kansas City. Kenyon Green, he almost had to roll over CJ and hurt himself to where he basically benched himself. And that's the problem I have with DeMeco, and that's what he's going to have to prove is, does Nick Caley know what the hell he's doing? Now, I think it's kind of a compromise with Caserio because Caserio kind of took a step back and let DeMeco bring in Slowick after Caserio was involved in New England's offense for like 2 decades and involved in the Texans offense, and the system was a little bit different. So he took a step back and kind of let DeMeco do his thing. But DeMeco's going to have to prove that the offense and defense can be like at least like somewhat proportionally coached at the same level. I think that's the problem. I haven't seen like any like specific in-game situations that DeMeco has struggled with, but that would be my thing is he's got to prove that he knows what the hell he's doing when it comes to the other side of the rock.
So I'm glad you just brought that up because I want to piggyback off that. I think something that I still have a bad taste in my mouth with DeMeco, and while you gave him credit for getting rid of Slowick, I agree. That's his buddy. That was a tough decision. He just let the season go last year. I mean, we were crying for DeMeco to step in, especially after the Jet game. I was there. We had the bye week, I believe, right after. We were crying for him to make a change. You know, it just kind of seemed like he's way too focused on the defense, but maybe you live and learn. And now he knows, like you said, maybe to take more control of the game as a whole. Last thing, Kaimi Fairbairn sucks. All right, Landry. How many big games have I been to that he's missed big kicks? That Jet game, the Thursday night game, he hit the post from like a 33-yarder. The Lions game, their kicker is making it from 50 plus. Fairbairn, God forbid, he comes up big for me. That I don't know how you could say he's the best Texan at that position of all time. He sucks.
Got to give it to him over Chris Brown. Shout out to Chris
and I
Brown.
changed my profile pic. Landry, always appreciate you, bro. Thanks, man.
Yeah, bro. Appreciate you. It's Don from Jersey. Look at that. I think he's going to arrest someone there. Chris Brown. Shout out to Chris Brown. South Lake legend. People don't understand how much of an athlete Chris Brown was. Bradley Harvey's talking crap about Chris Brown. You don't understand, brother. You don't understand how much of an athlete Chris Brown was. You want me to show you? You want to get some respect for this guy? Because you treat him like he's some schmuck kicker. You treat him like he's some schmuck kicker. He's not. Chris Brown's a legend, dude. He's an absolute effing legend. People think he's like some nerdy soccer player who decided to play kicker. Look at this. Look at this, dude. This is Wikipedia. I got to pull up the Wikipedia just to kind of educate you on how much of a freak athlete this dude was. He was basically doing like his second thing. Look at this. So this was him in high school. He was at South Lake Carroll, which produced Chase Daniel, Greg McElroy, Kyle Chandler, among many others, Lil Jordan Humphrey, multiple state championships, but he was the start of it all. He led the Dragons to consecutive 16-0 records in Class 3A state championships in 92 and 93. Starting quarterback on the 93 team. Served as a captain of the Dragons as a senior. 16 of 18 field goal attempts in 94. Earned first team all-district, Northeast Tarrant County as a kicker, as well as all honorable mention states. In Carroll High School's first ever 4A playoff game in 94, he kicked 4 field goals, including a long of 50 yards, and also did his thing at the quarterback position. They don't even put like the real respect on his name. This dude was a quarterback at South Lake Carroll. Shout out to Chris Brown. Straight slander, Bradley. Straight slander. Dude was an athlete. Yeah, Randy Bullock sucked. We can agree on that. Appreciate everyone for rolling through. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to like. Be sure to ride along. Be sure to always remember, man, we're getting through this dark time. We are 30 minutes away from being 12 days away from the start of Texans camp. Tomorrow on SNL, we'll continue the position series. If you missed it, go subscribe to SNL, S&L, myself and Cody Stutes. We broke down the cornerbacks for 1 hour, and we did. No one else can do that. No one else can do that. And we didn't do it with like fake analysis of like the number 5 guy. We did our thing, and go back and check that out if you're a night owl. Shout out to everyone for coming through. Subscribe, like, right along. Always remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together. Enjoy yourselves, folks.
Opinions to give, we got takeaways. If it's up, then it's up. We number one. You don't need to try your luck. Locker room, yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk, yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize, every angle's what we really do. We the source, we the pulse of the city too.
Bobby.